What's everybody? We're back here, Diesel on a Sticks, and just wanted to share this with you. Just had an amazing find the other day. Actually, it wasn't even me, it was my wife. My wife had a find. One of her friends reached out to her and said she saw this, and saw this at a store, kind of like a thrift shop kind of deal, and didn't know anything about video games, but wanted to reach out to her. Hey, I know your husband's into video games. You might want to go check it out. She recognized obviously it was a Game Boy, knew that it was a case, but didn't know if anything was necessarily inside it. So my wife shows up, she finds it, and obviously, yep, it's a Game Boy case. Looks super cool. Even has like everything's kind of raised here, as you can see, just like a Game Boy. Even feels like a Game Boy. Even the back here looks like the cart slot right there where you put in the cart. It even feels like a Game Boy cartridge there. Pretty cool. But for a case, man, the case is fire alone. Really digging that. But let's take a look inside. Emily was able to go back and snatch it up. Nobody had bought it yet, and obviously nobody looked on the inside because this was an absolute steal. Thing is kind of a little difficult to open. I think you got to push here, pull. Is that what it is? Yeah, push and pull. So let's take a look inside. Boom, right away you're going to see OG Game Boy, the launch edition. And I mean, this thing is super clean. I do got to clean the glass. Like there's absolutely no scratches whatsoever. There's just smudges. But I'll get that cleaned up, no problem. But otherwise, this thing is clean. I mean, besides two tiny little scratches right there. That's being pretty picky. Look how clean that is. A little dirty right there, but or actually that might be a shadow. Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, I'll clean it up. But I mean, even the lettering isn't faded. Everything's super clean. I did test it. We could take a look on the inside there. No corrosion whatsoever either. That's always cool to see. Absolutely no corrosion. Cartridge slot is clean. But I did test it. I threw some batteries in there. It plays wonderfully. But yeah, this thing is mint. Look at that. By the time I'm done with it, it's really going to be mint. It's going to be super clean. But let's take a look at what games are inside. I love this case. Look at this case. Even got the padding to protect it. No wonder it was in good shape. But I already looked at the games too. I kind of know what they're worth, what's going on with them. Let's start here. You know, just one of those arcade classics, Defender and Joust. Pretty typical, but you know, cool games. Tetris, absolute classic. A little bit of damage right there, but I already have this cartridge anyway, so it's not a big deal, but it's cool to see. Rugrats, this is actually a Game Boy Color game, but Rugrats still pretty cool. Bo Jackson, I had this growing up as well. Had football and baseball on it. That was a cool cart. NBA All-Star Challenge 2, that was cool as well. I had that one as well back in the day, but cool little stack. Nothing really of value. I think Tetris is probably worth like $10. Nothing really crazy right there. Left one behind there. Let's pull them out. Another Rugrats game. This is an actual Game Boy game, not a collar game. So there's an NBA, a Game Boy Color game. Let's pull that out. Bugs Life. A little Disney game. Those are always fun. Can't go wrong with those. Summer Olympics, don't know nothing about that. But then here were the two that I thought might have a little bit of value. Kind of surprising. At first look, I thought this was RoboCop and Terminator. They had some dual games. I think there was like Mortal Kombat 1 and Mortal Kombat 2 on one cartridge, stuff like that. And those usually had pretty good value. There wasn't a ton of sales of them, so they're kind of rare. And I thought that's what this was. I thought this was RoboCop and Terminator, like a dual game, like RoboCop the game and then Terminator the game. But it was Terminator 2 that I had as a kid, so it wasn't Terminator like 1. So looking into it, I found that it is just one game. It is RoboCop versus the Terminator. So that's cool. So it is just one game. Tamagotchi, everybody knows Tamagotchi, man. That had a cult following. It was kind of like Pokemon, man. It got really big. Tamagotchis were very popular. Still kind of are. I actually just got one for my daughter's birthday for her. And she really digs these things. So I honestly, if you ask which one was worth more, I would have guessed Tamagotchi. But it is not. It's actually only worth like $12. So I would have been wrong. I would have guessed this would have been maybe like 50 bucks. And I'd have guessed maybe 20, 30 on this one. And it's actually the other way around. So Tamagotchi is only worth 12 bucks and this one's worth 50. So nice little find there. And it is super clean. Little scratch on the back right there, but everything the pins look super clean. But other than that little scratch, and that might buff out. I'll try to buff that out. I can't tell what kind of, it almost looks like a crown marker or something. So that might even buff out. But the label is super clean. So kind of cool. $50 game. Nice little find. And of course, the OG Game Boy, the launch edition, it's worth about 70 bucks. So always cool to see. But classic nostalgia, pure nostalgia here. But if I had more batteries, I'd turn it on just so we could hear the music and the noise and the dinging and all that good stuff. But still a cool find. Can't beat it. All right, Diesel out.